Hello and welcome to all of you. This is a short video for all the signs when it comes to exclusively the solar eclipse. So what is about to come on the 10th of June of 2021? We are going to have a solar eclipse, which means a new moon, the sun and the moon together, but also with the North Node. And so it means something new. It means planting a seed. I mean, every month we have a new moon. So every month we have an opportunity somewhere in our chart to plant a seed, so to speak. And now it's in Gemini. So we are all ready to plant a seed when it comes to the way that we communicate, the way that we think, the way that we enjoy life, the way that we do a bit of everything, and the way that we have an interest in life. That is also very Gemini-like. But the North Node is very close to the Sun and the Moon. The Sun and the Moon will be at 19 degrees of Gemini, and the North Node is approximately around, I think, 10 degrees or something like that. Let me really check this. Yes, 10 degrees of Gemini. So it's rather close. And the North Node represents our destiny, our future, fated events. So it means that there is something new here in a double whammy. Not only new because of the new moon, but also new because it's connected to the North Node. Remember, the lunar eclipse was connected to the South Node. That is about letting go. That is about making space so that this eclipse, which is actually what it's all about, it's making room, the lunar eclipse in Sagittarius. Hopefully you are dealing now with making some room, some space, so that you can have this space of new energy coming in and inviting into your life with the new moon and with this solar eclipse. And this is an eclipse that belongs again to the Saros cycle. I'll put a link below if you want to know a bit more about astrology and cycles and so on, and eclipses. I'll put a link below. But this is one that belongs as well to the 5 North Saros cycle. And the energy, I mean, the flavor is of being a visionary, of seeing things in advance or feeling things in advance, so that you can act on it in a better way, that you're tuned in, so to speak. So it's a pretty interesting eclipse family here. But of course, there's a but. And if you want to know more in depth what's going on the whole month, I mean on most areas of your life, check out the monthly horoscopes for June that I made. But this one is particularly at one area of your life that has this opportunity for a new beginning, and a really fresh new beginning that we all need so much, right? Because let's be honest, we do need a little bit of magic in our lives, and we all do that. We all have Neptune in our chart, so we're supposed to have a little bit of magic in our life, and guess what? We're gonna have it. We're gonna have it for sure. And why is that? Because the most important aspect to this solar eclipse is the square to Neptune. So Neptune is at 22 degrees of Pisces, and it squares almost exactly this sun and this moon, and actually also Mercury, because Mercury is also very close to the solar eclipse. It all squares up to it. So it definitely gonna have this Neptunian wave included in the solar eclipse. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? It's neutral. It's neutral. All energies are neutral. But when we see, as an astrologer or an astrology student, when we see that there is a square going on, we know there's going to be some challenges there. But it doesn't mean to say that we can't have the opportunity of what Neptune is all about. And Neptune is all about magic. It's all about being at the right place at the right moment. It's all about, that extra invisible thing that is happening, synchronicities, soulmate energy, compassion, understanding, knowing that you're a part of the whole. These are all these Neptunian energies at its best. It really means that there is a new beginning. That is like a bit of magic there in the air. There's certainly magic in the air, and I think we can welcome this all, and that it is on such a collective level shows that the collective is really ready and really a bit fed up with all the rules and all the all what is happening in the world, but that we have a place where we can, you could say, distract ourselves a little bit, escape even a little bit, but hopefully in a healthy way, right? Because that's the negative side of Neptune. The negative side of Neptune is escaping, and we can escape in a thousands of ways. It doesn't always have to be alcohol and drugs, right? Because that's the first thing that people think about when we're talking about escape. It can escape through love, for instance, through relationships. It can be escaping through gaming. It can be escaping through working really, really, really hard. And, we can distract ourselves in thousands of ways. So that is the pitfall. The pitfall is going to be the escape route. And the pitfall is going to be that we're not realistic enough, right? But I think, in my humble opinion, as we had so much Saturnal, when we had all those planets in Capricorn, we've been coming out of such a Saturnal Plutonian time. I think most of the people are like a biggest percentage of the people are gonna really welcome this Neptunian energy, but at the same time we'll stay with the feet on the ground, right? So we all will have, I'll break this down into for every sign, but we will all have a place in our life where we allow ourselves to dream a little bit, to fantasize even, but do it in a good way. So in that, because that Saros cycle that I was talking about was about envisioning. So here it is as well, a double whammy of envisioning. Now the only thing, because Mercury is involved here, and Mercury is, whilst this is all going on, is going backwards, in Gemini, so in its own sign going backwards, that is a really strong indication that we are going to get way more information that we have at the moment, but that only will happen when Mercury goes out of its shadow, really. And that will be around the 7th of July. So if we know that, yeah, we are going to have some magic in our lives, but we have to stay with the feet on the ground, right? And not indulge into these unhealthy escape routes. Second, if we know that, yeah, information, clarity is coming in a certain area of our life where we have no clarity at all at this particular moment, and even where we can fool ourselves, basically, because this Mercury is also making three trines with Neptune. So I'm getting like the Neptunian vibe here of doing all different kinds of accents, but I'm not going to do that. I'm very good with accents, by the way. I know. I'm just doing this, but anyway, I'm digressing. You see, that's Neptune. It's digressing. You're not getting to the point here. So people will click off the video, but hey, guess what? I don't care. Anyway, it is very important, this vibe of Mercury hitting Neptune 3 times. This means that only when Mercury will hit the 3rd time Neptune, then will come the clarity. Not before that. It's impossible, because this is a process that you cannot force. You cannot, pull on the grass just to make it grow faster. This is not going to happen. So know that what you think of in a certain area of your life, it's going to be probably the opposite. For instance, for Sagittarians, they have this in their 7th house happening. Mercury in the 7th house. It's going to bump into Neptune 3 times. When you meet someone new, for instance, you probably will think something about them in the beginning, and then at the 7th of July, it's probably the opposite that you're going to think about this person. It doesn't have to be bad or good, right? But it's how this works. Mercury squared to Neptune is about your vision, how you see things, how you do information. It's the upside world. It's totally blurred. It's you are riding in the mist, and what do we do when we are driving a car in the mist? I hope we slow down And I hope that we just observe what's happening around us rather than jumping conclusions. And another thing, not jumping into conclusions when things are happening around you and you are saying, oh boy, what is this all about? And you think you've got it all figured out. Hell no, you haven't. You haven't. So that is a third advice that I want to give you, to be really observant of what is going on here and see how it unfolds. Don't judge too much with the Mercury square Neptune. Don't judge too much. Judge after this whole thing is gone, which is at the 7th of July and onwards. Then you will have the clarity. Then you are clear enough to make good decisions, right? So, but you have to be patient. Meanwhile, it's a bit navigating at the sea, the sea, and going with the waves, going with the flow, but just enjoy it. Enjoy a bit. There's certainly going to be magical times there, and but enjoy it even when it. So don't be too focused on the outcome is basically it with this Neptune thing. Neptune always learns us how to trust the universe, and that it will give us exactly what we need and exactly what is for our growth. And the only thing that we can do is make sure that our communication, and I think I've said that in all the monthly videos, make sure that your communication has full integrity, that you're not doing all the negative things of Mercury in Gemini squaring up to Neptune three times, which is gossiping, and which is manipulating. It's the trickster. It says things like this, but it means something else. Integrity is very important. You can't control other people's what they're saying, other people's communication. That's not for you. That's not your karma. Doing already you is a whole thing. And so bear that in mind. So, but I think that after this whole period of this solar eclipse and together with this Mercury retrograde, oh boy, will we have more clarity. And that is the key of this eclipse. We will have a better vision. We will have much more clarity. So, because it's annoying, isn't it, that people have no purpose because they cannot make plans, they cannot vision, because what's going to happen? Can we travel? Can we not travel? And all of that. This is showing that clarity is coming. But still, we have to be very, very careful that we don't fool ourselves in already thinking that we know it all, right? So having a very broad perspective and a non-judgmental perspective towards others is very key here. Now, let's get into the signs of this eclipse. Is there something else that I needed to say here? Oh yes, Mercury goes direct on the 23rd, 24th of June. So around that period, clarity will come already a little bit, but still it has to bump into Neptune. So don't worry. It's not going to come before the 7th of July. It's good to know that. Anyway, Aries, what is this all about? Now, is this about love? Is this about work? What is this all about? It is about your communication style. So this whole Gemini is an air sign. You are a fire sign, Aries. So this is a nice solar eclipse for you. This goes well with each other. So this is not something that is really going to put your life upside down. First and foremost, this is happening in your third house of your communication. And Neptune, which is causing all the, well, it's not causing, but you could say which kind of reflects all these kind of things behind the scenes, so to speak, is happening in your 12th house. So it's actually your unconscious that is talking to you. So that could mean in your communication that sometimes you cannot be conscious enough, you Aries people. And I know that's not the easiest, right? I have my moon in Aries myself. I know how impulsive I can be. And then don't we have this all, Aries people, whether it is your sun, but especially the moon, because the moon is how you react. And people with Aries rising, that you say things, they are the truth. They are, very authentic. Yes, but it can cause you trouble. Now, this is happening for you certainly now. Around that time, that be very conscious of what you're telling. If you have to go to a meeting or you have to talk to someone and it's about very important topics, Be mindful of what you're saying. It's the only thing that you can do, because your unconsciousness can, they say that communication is like 80% body language and 20% just really what you're saying. Like, for instance, you're doing a good thing. Would you believe me when I say that? You know, that kind of thing. So make sure that your body language is suiting what is coming out of your mouth, okay? So don't try to be a Libra in other ways, because that's gonna look very odd to you. But anyway, it's just a warning around your communication, basically, and it's a warning around when you have, apart from this communication, could be a sibling as well or a neighbor, that they are doing things, or you're trying to do things that are not like 100% clear. Be very careful of that, because it can backfire. And also, when you work for yourself, it can be your PR, your advertising and whatnot, all the things that you do to attract clients. Is also, I also see that as the third house. There you can do some good work. You can re-edit, redo your website, you know, with this Mercury Retrograde, and launching a whole new start that is way more creative, you know, Neptune, the good side of it, that is way more creative and that is going to be way more successful and way more clear. But you will have to work a little bit. For the writers and creative people around you, this is a good time with this Mercury in your third house. So you could be dealing with re-editing, studying as well. It's also a good time for studying, especially when you are open to see the patterns, you know, the Neptune thing. If you're studying history, for instance, and you're comparing like all different kinds of times, what they were all about, you know, that kind of thing. Do it in a Neptunian way. Connect the dots and all of that. So pretty nice eclipse for you, actually. Taurus people. Now for Taurus, all this energy in Gemini, this new beginning, this new start is happening in your second house. And that is your house. That is the house of the Taurian. So this is all about a new beginning around your self-worth. You have an opportunity to build it up, to upgrade it, basically. We all know that self-worth, it's easy to just destruct it, but it's not easy to build it up. And now we have a new way of how you think about your finances, how you think about your self-worth. The second house is also what you eat. So maybe a different way of how you eat, what your diet is. You can do these adjustments there, but be a bit open, because Neptune is in your 11th house of goals for the future. So you might have some goals for the future, and that kind of are connected to your income or your self-worth. Great, think big and think gigantic, and do a bit of the grandiose ideas that you have. But as you're a grounded sign that you are, stay with the feet on the ground to do it in different steps, you know, because otherwise it's just gonna stay a dream. But you're a Taurian. Taurians want to make things happen, and they can. And because this is such a strong new beginning, it is possible for sure. So use this time, especially up until the 7th of July, use this time for dreaming, for looking in the future, how you want things to happen, when you want to have like a business, for instance, or a new job that is way more expansive, that is way more creative, that is way more magical, that is way more enjoyable, that you have some fun for a change by doing things, you know, that is included with work. And that gives you a good sense of self, basically. But yes, keep that in mind, that you stay realistic, and you could have some help of friends as well, creative Neptunian friends, because that's in your 11th house. But stay with the feet on the ground, because those Neptunian friends can be very Neptunian, which is again very up in the air there, and very you know, go with the flow a little bit, and I have these high ideas, but use that for your own creative vision, because creative vision will help you to stay grounded, but also to explore how to find ways to earn more money and to earn more self-worth. Very nice eclipse for you. Geminis, wow, this is all spotlights on you, and especially, so all Geminis will feel it the most of all the signs, and especially the Geminis who've got planets between 19 degrees of Gemini. So those are the ones that are born around the 8th of June up until like the 13th of June. They will feel it the most. Having said that, all Geminis will feel it. So there's definitely a new start for you, Gemini. I've been talking about this for a long time. This is it. This is it. But keep in mind that eclipses, they have like consequences for like 6 months. So don't think that, I'm not seeing it. You should be seeing some things there happening and new beginnings when it comes to you. So all the emphasis on you. I want you to focus on yourself as well. I want you to focus on how you express yourself, how you communicate with other people. But keep in mind that your work, your social status, how you want to be seen in the world, there's a bit of Neptunian vibes there that can really distract you. So you could be the person that really escapes through your work. So, but if you know that, it's already one thing, and know why you're doing that. And also know that clarity will come after the 7th of July. So how you can put that into balance again. So, so definitely a huge opportunity to start new things in all ways. I mean, not only career, but also your life path, also your connections with other people. They are gonna change, right? Because you are changing on a vibrational level. Once we start to change from within, all the outer circumstances start to change as well. And don't panic when you see those changes are sometimes a bit up or down. Because one day you're gonna think, for instance, yes, this is happening with me now, or with my spouse or girlfriend, boyfriend, and then the next week you think the other way around. That is because of the Mercury retrograde and that Neptunian vibe that has to do with who are you and who are the people that you attract in your life. Are they still fitting? Don't panic when you sometimes think they're not fitting anymore. Don't act on it and wait after the 7th of July, because then you're going to have all the information that you need to make, when you have to make decisions there. But meanwhile, I would really observe, if I were you, I would really observe yourself as well and see what's happening and what's unfolding, because there are things that are aligning itself at the moment. So work on yourself mostly, right? Don't try to change other people. Don't try to, be too focused on others. Be really focused on what your goal is, what your objectives are, how you want to present yourself, what you want to attract in your life, and are you doing that already yourself? If you want to attract in your life, for instance, very good friends, well, be a good friend yourself, to yourself first and foremost. These kind of things. If you want to attract a very handsome man or a very beautiful woman, whatnot, make sure that you take care of yourself first and foremost. And you will see what comes after that. So, in other words, the energy that you want, the energy, and if you say there's still a gap in it, make sure that you fill up your own cup in that respect, and the rest will follow. A tremendous important time for you Geminis out there. Cancer. Now this is all for Cancer people. This is happening in your 12th house. So a lot is happening behind the scenes. A lot is happening on an unconscious level. This new moon is happening in the sign just before you, which is your 12th house, the house of the unconscious, the house of where we sleep, where we rest, where we connect with what we don't see, whether we are conscious of it or not. So that sun, that moon, that Mercury going backwards and forwards in the 12th can make people very not knowing where they're heading. So you are going to be one of those signs, dear Cancerians, that are not going to know where you're heading in life. And that's okay. Mostly you do. You are a cardinal sign, so mostly you do know where you're heading. But don't expect to really know direction during this period of time. because Neptune is in your 9th house, and that is the house of your belief systems, or what you're believing in. And those belief systems, they probably go up and down and up and down. One week you believe this, yeah, this is going to happen, this is going to be my goals, yeah, that is what I'm going to do. And then the next week you believe something else. So there could be some distractions there connected to that. 9th house is also travel, so there could be some travel involved here that really is going to help you to have a little bit more magic in your life, for sure. But know that this is also this could also be an escape route, right? So if you use it in the right way, there's nothing wrong with it. But know that this is not the time to really make very important decisions between now and the 7th of July. It's not really recommended to make, you know, the biggest decision of your life, like selling a home or starting this whole new project or relationship, or cutting a relationship out. I would recommend just to observe it and to watch it after the 7th, of course, if you can, of course. Not everyone will have that luxury there. But anyways, so you could be a bit, when it comes to what you believe in and how you see things, it could be a bit a bit blurry there. But just go with the flow, enjoy the fact that you don't know everything, and know that you will have a lot of clarity when it comes to where you are standing and where you are heading towards the future. That vision will come for sure, and you will be one of the signs that have the biggest vision, because this Neptune is in the house and the area of life that has to do with your vision. So but all in all, not about solar eclipse at all. It's more on the background, and use it well, right? Use it for healthy distractions, for sure. I'm talking about this in the monthly horoscopes as well, and then you'll be fine. So enjoy life, for sure. Leos, this is all happening in your 11th house. For the Leos, this is nice energy. It's air energy with your fiery energy. So this is very, very nice, all happening in your 11th house. The house of your future, the house of your goals, the house of your friends for the future. There is a bit, though, this Neptunian vibe there in the 8th house. So there could be, if you share money, assets, investments with friends and so on, be very careful. Be very careful, and know that there could be some unclarities there. It's gonna unfold itself. So when it comes to investments, when it comes to the word of other people, don't be too dependent on that. Don't be too dependent of what other people are going to say, because what they're saying is not always making sense, basically. That's what it is. So this is a lot about your friendships. Be open to it, and a lot of your friendships are going to change. There's going to be new ones that come in, and there's going to be upgrades and devaluations as well, of course. So, but new starts there in the friendships, and also new starts when it comes to your goals. But make sure that when it comes to your goals, that think big, absolutely, but also have the feet on the ground, because otherwise you will get disappointed, and you don't want that. So very nice energy for the Leos. The Virgos, this is again crucial energy. Crucial, because this eclipse is happening in a fellow mutable sign of Gemini, which is the highest point of your horoscope. So for a lot of Virgos, there is new beginnings coming when it comes to their career. When it comes to, if you say, Veerle, I don't have a career, I don't want a career, then this has to do with how other people view you, how you want to be seen by the world, how the world sees you, what your contribution is to society, so to speak. And mostly for most Virgos, this is quite significant. Now, what does it mean? It means that there's certainly a new start there. So if you have a job that is not going well, or you want something new, this is all on. But again, Neptune squares up to it from the 7th house. So it could be that your spouse, your girlfriend, boyfriend, or maybe a business partner is just making it all very unclear. That you have a goal there for the future when it comes to your work, but they're saying, nah, no, maybe they don't like it, or they're saying, don't start it, or whatnot. Just don't panic again when that happens and you're saying, oh, I don't have the support or whatnot. This can turn around. Just stick to it, and Just have the feet on the ground, look what's going on, observe things, investigate, be the Virgo that you are with the feet on the ground, and you will see that after the 7th of July, there's new opportunity. All this, I don't know what this is all about, and so on. This vague energy will fade away. For you, this vague energy is definitely has to do with relationships. So if you think someone is in, then maybe not. And the other way around, if you think he or she hasn't got my back, maybe they do have your back, or the other way around. So be a bit open and not too judgmental, which is a difficult thing for you Virgos, right? I'm a Virgo myself, I know. You know, we are good at judging. Wow. But anyway, it's not the time now to do it. Just accept what's going on there. But stay focused and keep on exploring, because I have seen a lot of people with Virgo rising especially that are really up to having big plans for the future when it comes to their work, but where their partner isn't really keen on that, or isn't really following that view. Okay, so don't try to persuade them. Just keep on going, keep on researching, and you'll be fine, because your ruler Mercury is at the highest point of your horoscope. So the Virgos will feel it the most, who've got, of course, planets around 19 degrees of Virgo. So that will be the Virgos that were born around the 11th of September, the 10th of September, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and even 16. I'm on the 16th, so gonna feel this also very well. Now, having said that, very important for key areas of your life, but as Virgos always want to pinpoint things down, it's not going to work. Okay, just accept it. I know it's difficult. I know it's difficult, but accept that you don't know it all yet. That doesn't mean to say it's never going to come. It's going to come, but not now. After the 7th of July, that is. Librans. Libra, this is a fantastic eclipse for you because it's in a fellow air sign, so it should not be that difficult for you. And this is even happening in a very nice house as well, which is the 9th house, which is the house of your beliefs. It's new belief systems that are growing here, that you're planting a seed. And, you know, the Neptunian vibe is in the 6th house, so you could be having a bit of a problem with having a routine, basically, you know, with having a routine, how you plan your day-to-day life. Don't expect it to really... I'm thinking of my son now, as he's really struggling with that, you know, the routine, and, you know, with all that is happening in the world, it's so difficult, especially when you study, for instance, and to have that routine without even having classes, or it's all whooshy, right? It's all very Neptunian. Just do the studies, and I don't know how you're going to do it, but just go ahead. And, you know, there's not much structure there. So don't expect that this will come. This clarity of your day-to-day life will improve after the 7th of July. But definitely this can be a really good time to develop new belief systems. So there are definitely, you know, planted the seeds there for totally new belief systems, maybe things that you didn't believe in a couple of years ago and now you do, or the other way around. So this is going to have a huge impact later on in your life. Another thing is, of course, studies. You know, I talk about studies, but the 9th house is also the highest studies that you're doing. So it's going to be, it's certainly a study for most of you that you're going to like, and that you're really into, but be realistic that, you know, with having not much structure, it's going to be a bit tough there. But do what you can do. Don't think that it won't succeed. You know, the things that we think are probably the opposite, right? So if you think, oh, I'm not going to have it, this is not going to work, this is not going to work, it could even work, and the other way around. But be realistic, right? If you don't are with your nose into the books or whatnot, you're not going to learn, right? So be realistic. But definitely a very exciting time to have a new study, maybe a bit more a Neptunian study, a study where you can maybe art or something like that, or something creative, or music or whatnot. This could be amazing time, you know, put a little bit of magic in your life. Scorpios, this is happening in your house. This is happening in the 8th house. This is your cup of tea. Absolutely. Most people would not like an eclipse happening in your 8th house, believe me, because the 8th house is the house of death, rebirth, transformation, all these extreme stuff going on. But you Scorpios, you were born to explore all this. So there is definitely for the Scorpios a new beginning when it comes to these areas of your life. On a more basic level, this has to do with finances. This has to do with the finances that you get from other people, or that are not earned yourself, or that is from a spouse, for instance, or inheritances, or taxes and whatnot. But also investments are things, assets that you share with other people. So there could be planting a new seed. But there is this Neptunian thing going on for you as well in the 5th house. So be aware that your heart, investigate it a little bit. It's not, so you can be, your heart is really saying yes, but be very careful with what you're doing with investments and all of that. Especially with a lover, for instance, if you would do that, it's all kind of tricky because you don't have all the information. So make sure that you gather all the information and that you're ready when Mercury goes, full on out of its shadow, away from that Neptunian vibe, that you know exactly where you're heading at. So on other levels, this is deep psychological understanding and planting new seeds for a new occult study, for instance, or understanding yourself on a way deeper level. And it's related to your heart chakra, that 5th house. It's related to how you want to have, the way that you want to have fun. There's definitely for the Scorpio some more fun coming up. With this Neptune here in your 5th house, related to the, some fun, but fun is always spontaneous and in a fun way and in a light way. But you've got that combination with that Scorpionic 8th house. That is amazing. I mean, that is having fun, having the lightness, but also having the depth. I have Venus in Scorpio. I would really, really love that, So I'm going to feel it also a tiny little bit. My ruler is there as well. So this is good energy. You're going to have it all, basically, Scorpios. You're going to have the lightness, and you're going to have the magic, and you're going to have the depths. So the only thing to be aware of is that your heart is now telling you things that are probably not correct. So but you Scorpios will feel it. Gut feeling. Wow, your intuition is the strongest of all the signs. If you use it right. If you don't use it just to look at the negative, because then you're only gonna see the negative. But anyway, that's the suspiciousness of the Scorpio. But definitely also sexuality, children. There could be some, maybe you for instance, you want to have a child and things are very, are you pregnant or you're not pregnant? It could be something as simple as that, but it's really, don't panic too much. Don't think, this is not happening, so maybe it is happening. You see what I mean? It's that space of time that you won't know. Accept it, it's going to be easier. It's going to be easier when you do that. After the 7th, you will know, the 7th of July. Sagittarians, dear Sagittarians, Saggies out there, Sun in Sagittarius, Moon in Sagittarius, and certainly Sagittarius risings. This is all about your relationships. What is going on there? Of course, you have to see the whole, but I'm going to focus here on that eclipse, and there's definitely new people coming into your life. There's definitely new relationships waiting there at the front, at your front door. And it could be a relationship that is already existing in some form or shape, and that is getting an upgrade for sure. Maybe a friend relationship becomes a bit more than a friend relationship. Maybe you are dating and now you are living together. Maybe you are married and now you're thinking about having a child. That is all this eclipse energy. I remember 18 years ago, when I had that same eclipse happening. That not the same eclipse, of course, but on the same degrees, and also with the North Node and blah, blah, blah. when I was having that, I was having a child. So it was like an upgrade of the relationship. You see each other in a different way, as a parent that is, and a total new way of seeing other people, of seeing what love is all about, and blah, blah, blah. So it can definitely be the better you use that lunar eclipse of the 26th of May, I mean, the more you make space, you know, of the old you, say goodbye to it, old parts of you that are no longer suiting you. The better you're doing that, the more new people you're gonna attract. If you want that, of course, you're gonna attract new people, and you're gonna attract new kinds of relationships that will give you a lot of meaning, because ultimately that's what you want. You have Mercury there. So you want to connect with people. You want to connect with, you want to understand them more. It doesn't mean to say that you're going to understand them more. That is the trick. Because when we see Mercury in the 7th house, yes, we want to connect to